I've run a company where I raised about $6 million for over ABCD, 4 rounds of financing. And, you know, it can get pretty complicated because every single one of those rounds of financing was a different pre-money valuation, different preferences, and to line all of that up, you know, it was a nightmare. For that, we definitely needed real good corporate counsel to make all of that work, especially when we exited that company. And here's an interesting thing. We sold that company to a public company. And the interesting thing about that was, I want to say 4 years before we sold the company, my COO and we made a decision that we were going to run the company like a public company. So then Sarbanes-Oxley was around at that particular point in time, but we weren't going to come up with all of the, we were going to run it as if it was a public company, but we weren't going to put in all of the expense that was associated with running a public company. And for the express reason that one of the real things that can kill a deal with a small private company is when a public company comes in and they like what you got, but they're not willing to assume all the liabilities that you may have. Because after all, you're a small company. Who knows what liabilities they're buying? You know, you could have done some stuff in your past that was just like, yee-hoo, and now they're a big public company. They got a lot to risk, a lot to lose. So the interesting thing was, by doing that, when this public company came in to do due diligence on us, it went smoothly. Because they asked the questions, we had the data room, we had all the documents put in place, all that stuff. They're like, oh wow, I feel like I'm looking at a public company. Well, that was the idea, because a diligence team is someone that comes into the company to look at everything. I mean, they deep dive into everything. They look under the toilet seats and everything to make sure that, you know, they know everything that they can possibly know about you. One of their primary jobs is to ding your enterprise value every chance they get. Okay? So if they ask you a question and you don't have a good answer, in their mind anyways, they go, oh, okay, ding, 1 ding off enterprise value. And every time that happens, you know, you get this little decrease in your enterprise value. So the interesting thing in a diligence team is when they come in and you answer all their questions for them and you have everything already all set, they don't have the opportunity to ding your enterprise value. So you end up getting, you know, a higher price for your company.
Pete,
yeah.
I have a question for you. So you said that you ran it like a public company. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Well, if it's expensive.
That's
okay.
the reason.
To actually adhere to and maintain all of the elements that are associated with Sarbanes-Oxley, it can be expensive.
Expensive, but wouldn't that give it a higher value?
No.
No.
Because you need to adhere to Sarbanes-Oxley if you're a public company. So you have no choice.
Okay.
You have no choice if you're a public company. If you're a private company, again, you can adhere to it by your corporate counsel and by your employees and your officers and the policies and the procedures you put in place, but you don't need to formalize it.
Okay. Otherwise, you would have to.
It just costs you a lot of money.